Okay, like we discussed, here is what the Massive Viper is versed in. Looking at it, its monster card, physical, ranged, and mythical. We have our warfare dice here. So let's pick those from up here on our app. So there's physical and ranged and mythical. Okay, we're going to randomize those. Okay, so phase one here, remember, we're definitely going to attack, and that is going to be with Zeke here. And I'm going to take the battle token right here for phase one. He's just going to use his oak staff. Another thing, important thing to remember, a hero can declare any weapon to attack with. It does not have to match that, the mythical, because those are daggers. This is an oak staff. This is arcane. That's totally fine. We're just looking for damage here. So remember when we talked about sockets? So let's say this had it's a starting weapon, but let's say it wasn't. It had a socket. You could put something in there, like one of those prowess gems, to have maybe +2 to mythical or +4 to mythical, depending on what power gem you created. But for now, please remember that you can declare any weapon to attack with. But remember, they might not be that proficient in that chosen warfare type. But remember, we looked at Zeke's card. We can add a +1 to that. So I just wanted to show you, so you get this. I'm declaring that. So he is going to attack in phase one with mythical. Okay, moving right along. Maheliak here has the evergreen bow. And what's good is this has a buff to it that has a +2. So we can add +2 to that die roll. And let's look at his hero card. Okay, he has nothing there. But take notice right here to physical warfare. We're going to be able to add +2. I'm just going to show you now so I don't have to bring it back over. So, of course, we're going to attack in phase 2. And we're going to take battle token 2, attack side. We're going to put it on the evergreen bow. It can do 1 damage if he is successful, if he lands a hit. Finally, of course, is physical warfare in phase 3. Let's move that up. And we're going to take our battle token 3 for phase 3. And we're going to grab his primordial axe. And remember, just like I said, even though that's physical warfare, swords, you can declare any weapon to attack with. Very easy. It can do 1 damage if he's successful, and there's our phase 3 battle token. Battle is ready. Of course, again, this would go much, much quicker, but I'm showing you, taking the time to explain all of this so you know. Okay, let's get going with the battle. We're not going to use the dice. I like using these things, so hopefully we don't knock anything over. And let's see how our heroes do. Okay, let's line up our dice. Looking already, I think they did very good. So you see how I did that? I just put, everything right in line with how everything is. And I think Zeke might have not done that hot. So let's take a look at the monsters card here. Looking at mythical warfare, Zeke needed to get an 11 or higher. Nope, that's only, 5? But then remember, he did have a +1 to mythical warfare on his hero card. That's only a 6. Unfortunately, Zeke is going to take 1 damage. And remember, it's that value next to the warfare value. So Zeke has taken 1 damage. And remember, just to show you again, you look at that number there. Right there, 11-1. So he took 1 damage. Very easy. Okay, so we processed that. We're moving on to phase 2. Maheliak just took that evergreen bow and shot this thing probably right between its eyes. That's a 10 and a 5. That's, of course, 15. And he has a +2 on the evergreen bow. And, of course, it does 1 damage. So that's a very good hit. That's a 17. Consulting the Massive Vipers card, that's only a 9. So we're going to take one of those damage tokens off here. It's down to 2 health. Finally, let's go over here to physical warfare. 4 and 4, that's an 8. And looking back on Maheliak's card, that's a +2, that's a 10. And let's see what the Massive Viper, 13. So definitely Mahaliak is going to take 1 damage for this. And I'm just going to show you this now since we're here. Remember that Mahaliak had this healing potion. The hero can regain 6 health. You can quaff these down at any time you like. So I just wanted to point that out. Even during battle, it's to take it, you can drink it down real quick and he can restore his health. So we do have that on backup. And actually Zeke has one too. So that's 1 round of combat right there. So we damaged the Massive Viper for 1, but both of our heroes took a damage. So what we're going to do is, remember, it's continuous. Let's reset. Now we'll just do it very quickly. So what we're going to do is pick those warfare types again. Physical, ranged, mythical, randomize. Because this always changes. And like I said, this just gives the heroes, it's even. It's like an even battlefield for the monster and hero. Neither of them have an advantage because, this is shuffling the warfare tokens. And kind of this is the same thing almost like it was before. Phase 1 mythical, I have that phase 1 battle token. We're going to keep that on the oak staff for mythical. However, we are going to switch these around. We don't have to. For phase 2 is physical. I'm just going to put this on the primordial axe, like I showed you before. And then on phase 3 there for ranged, I'm going to put this on the evergreen bow. And of course, we're going to attack in all the phases. Hopefully they can kill it in this round. Let's see how they do. Believe it or not, I get really excited for these champion battles. I truly, this is one of the high points in the game for me. And you know what? I think they killed it. And actually, I want to point something out. Yeah, these were like huge, huge hits. And I'm actually glad this came up. And I want to teach you another big rule about this. Okay, so again, we lined everything up. Consulting the Viper's card for mythical down here, 11-1. So Zeke needed to get 11. Monster hit with a 15 plus the 1 on his hero card for mythical warfare, 16. We're going to knock one of the health off. Massive Viper's down to 1 health. And Mahaliak with just a huge hit. That's a 9 and a 6, 15. Plus we have a 2 on physical warfare, 17. And he just cut the head off of that Massive Viper because he only needed to get 13. He is done. They have killed the Massive Viper. I want to point something out, and this is kind of something that sometimes players overlook. Let's suppose that this last roll here was a 1 and a 1. Super low, the hero did not score a hit. This doesn't come into effect. The Massive Viper would not damage, it would have been Mahaliak, because remember, Mahaliak killed it in phase 2. Phase 3 doesn't happen because the Massive Viper is dead. Some people overlook that, so always remember, if you kill it, even in phase 1, if you kill a champion monster, these two are kind of null and void because it's already dead. So if these were both misses, you will not take any damage. Okay? Hopefully that made sense. But now what are we going to do? We're going to grab some life force and we'll put it in our pool. So that is, what was it? There was 2 on that. Okay, so I have our 2 life force tokens. Again, I just want to show you guys everything so you know. Oh, that's a 3. Get a 1. Okay. So there's our 2 life force for killing that champion monster. But now we have the loot and gold roll. And you know what we're going to do? Let's have some fun with the app. Let's have the app roll for the loot and gold roll, because I don't think I showed you that. So we're of course going to have to go through this roll. Doesn't mean anything. Okay, but here, right up here, this was actually the last thing we implemented into this app. Loot and gold roll. Remember, you're going to roll a d20. And I think we got 11. Okay, so let's consult the Massive Viper card. And what do we need to get there? 18, 13, no. So it was low. But at least you could see how the loot and gold roll works on the app. And guys, that's kind of how it works with champion monsters. And I think this was a really great demo, and everything worked out perfect to demonstrate how all of this works. So let's head back to the chamber and we'll wrap this up with champion combat. Okay, and to wrap this up, here is Maheliak and Zeke in that chamber here in the Tomb of St. Viticus South, and there's that champion monster token. Of course, we can remove that now. That was a massive viper, and they have killed it. And here's that quest card for the Chambers of the Corrupt, and this is, of course, the quest they're on. And this is, again, a kill and clear quest. Remember, that's a side quest. That little icon right there tells you this is an Ancient Runes, that this quest card's associated with the Ancient Runes dungeon board. And what I usually do is you could put that token on here as a reminder for you if you like. And again, so our objective was to clear this out, and we're going to fast forward a little bit so I can teach you about turning in a quest here. And so we're almost finished with this quest. So let's fast forward a little bit and let me talk about how you turn in a quest. Okay, so we have kind of fast forwarded a few turns ahead, and they are in the very last chamber here. They're in the Tomb of St. Viticus North. And remember, as you can probably tell, this is totally non-linear. You can go to any chamber you like with your heroes, you know, do it your way. But they entered into this last chamber, and we're going to reveal the monster token, and it is an empty chamber. Now, if remember, when we set this up, according to the quest card, that we had to shuffle some level 1 monster tokens and an empty chamber. So, again, those higher level quests, you could run into a monster that's one level higher. But for this tutorial quest, we threw this in, so this is kind of like a freebie. They actually went in ready to slay a monster, and it was just an empty chamber. So the Chambers of the Corrupt quest is complete. And here's what we could do. There's a few different options. Remember, just going over this quest was worth 300 gold right here, and seven life force tokens. So what we could do is this. We automatically just get the 7 life force. I'm not going to pull it out. And we would take that 7 life force and just put it wherever you're going to place all of your life force tokens in, like, that collective pool. But this is a physical reward, 300 gold. So what we could do is we could send Albus here. Say Albus, came over here to the chamber, and or he was there, or he could be actually anywhere in the dungeon, but I wanted to bring him over here. You could send Albus back to the village, and he could retrieve that 300 gold for you. And while he's there, he could use that to maybe buy some potions or what have you. So it doesn't matter if Albus is here. I just brought him over here so you could, of course, see him, because we all love seeing Albus. Or he could be right by the exit or wherever. So whenever this, your quest is complete, you can send Albus out to the village to turn kind of that quest in to get any kind of physical reward. Okay, and I do want to touch on the incantation track with you, okay? This is very easy, and I'm going to try to fit our quick reference guide in here. Just to give you an idea, here it is in the quick reference guide. It's not much at all. So let's go over this real quick, because this could lead to some trouble for your heroes. As we were looking at, this deals with champion monsters, okay? Let's go back to when Maheliak and Zeke were in the chamber. That was a level 1 monster, correct? Now, we learned what evade is. That's if they just can't, beat the monster and they evade out of the chamber. Okay, I'm going to set this right here. Well, that monster is going to start an incantation. And an incantation's like an evil spell, like something like that. It's like an evil spell. You're going to leave this monster token in that chamber, and you're going to, of course, shuffle whatever monster that is. You're not going to fight that again, because when another hero enters into there, you're going to have to draw a new champion monster. But what you're going to do is, if one hero or two or all the heroes evade and leave that champion monster alone, you're going to come over here to the incantation track. Since it's a level 1, very simple. You're just going to put a red marker token on level 1, or on the first space. So this monster has started the incantation, and what this leads to is a hex on the village. we're going to get to a hex in the village. It's not good. So let's just say time goes on and a few heroes go into a chamber and they meet up with a level 2 monster. Okay, and they do the same thing. Let's say it's 2 heroes and both of them evade, leaving that level 2 champion monster alone. It's level 2, correct? You're going to put 2 tokens on the incantation track. So it's so on and so forth. Level 3, you're going to put 3 tokens, and level 4. So what happens is, when this thing is fulfilled, if a 4th red marker goes on to the incantation track, a hex is placed on the village. And we're going to go over that in a moment. But I want to make mention, let's say that there was, because there was a little misconception with this. So let's say there was 3 on the track right now, and the heroes went into a level 3 chamber, or rather a chamber with a level 3 monster. They evaded out. Well, of course you can't fit all of those tokens on there. So you would just put 1, and those other 2 would just be canceled out because the incantation is already been completed. So those 2 would not get placed. You are going to clear this, but those 2 would not go back on 1 and 2. Do you know what I mean? So once you say we cleared it, you wouldn't do that. It would just simply be clear. So let's go over what happens if an incantation is fulfilled and there's a hex placed on a village. The first thing you're going to do when a hex has been placed on the village is raise the terror level up by 1. The next thing you do is going to move up the minion population by 1. So another minion is going to spawn into the dungeon. The last thing you're going to do if a hex is placed on the village is remove 1 consumable from the bazaar. So it's thought of that this hex has ruined some of the consumables in the bazaar. But remember, you're just going to set these aside I'm going to put these on the side of the board. So they're not out of the game permanently, but for this quest table the heroes are on, you've lost 1 consumable that you could have used. On Celebration Day, you're just going to be, the bazaar is going to create more for your heroes. So you're just going to simply put those back at Celebration Day. And that's the 3 things you do if a hex is placed on the village. Okay, we have fully discussed all of the actions a hero can do in the hero phase. However, there are some free actions that we're going to discuss right now. But instead of going down into the dungeon, I thought of a different way to do this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of break away right now and film this, but we're going to look at this quick reference guide like through my computer, and then I'm just going to narrate everything for you, because some of these things we already went over. Some of them are very, very simple, like drinking a potion. So everything I'm going to discuss next are free actions, so you don't have to spend an action on it. And once I explain everything, it'll all fall in place. So go ahead, and we're going to move to that video, and I'll come back and we're going to wrap up this hero phase video here. See you in a second. Okay, and here we are with the free actions a hero can do during the hero phase. And guys, I don't think this is going to take that long to go over, because we went through a lot of this, but let's touch base on a few things here. Zoom in here. So notice this is on, of course, the next page of the quick reference guide. Free action up here, and then notes, drink a potion. Place consume potions next to the village board. A hero can drink a potion even in the monster or encounter phase. So just remember that you can quaff down, or a hero can quaff down a potion, at any time. And again, it's just to keep that easy gameplay and not make it too fiddly. So if you're in the heat of battle, think, maybe Maheliak grabbed his healing potion, quaffed it down, and he gets 6 health back. So that's how that works. Of course, we went over these a few times. This is the hero special abilities. And remember, it's a free action that you're going to use Essence to cast a special ability. Evade out of a chamber. Of course, we discussed this. Remember, that does not cost an action. That it just happens. If you evade out, you just evade out of the chamber. There's no action. Here's kind of a interesting one. Trading with adjacent ally, hero, or albus. Trading, equipping, and inserting a power gem is not allowed while adjacent to a monster, which is understandable, inside a chamber with a mystery chamber token or an unrevealed monster token. So, if you're fighting a monster, you're not going to, of course, be trading gear. So that's just, that's how that goes. But otherwise, say, if you're just next to your hero or, two heroes are next to each other, of course, that's just a free action. Trade as much gear as you want freely. That does not cost an action at all. And let me say also, while we're here, about Albus, that he can actually stop his movement and pass gear off to a few different heroes. So if you have, 3 heroes in a row, Albus he's generated, say, 12 movement. He can stop by one hero, drop that gear off, move, hold on to his movement, finish that transaction or trading with that hero, and spend the rest of his movement to go to those other heroes. Again, it's just to keep that nice ebb and flow to gameplay. Equip or unquip items. That doesn't cost an action. Insert a power gem. So just going over that again. And I think a lot of this stuff here we talked about. Spend 1 essence to gain 1 movement. We've described that. Light a torch. You just flip your token over. You don't have to use an action for that. Loot adjacent monster after slaying it. That's, of course, you just do your gold and loot roll. And open a crate. A hero must be inside the chamber and no monster tokens within the chamber. Draw a secret room card. Again, a hero must be inside a secret room chamber to draw a card. After processing the card, just shuffle it back into the deck. And lastly, reveal a mining site. And that's really about it, guys. It's fairly easy, and hope you can see how streamlined that is. Some of these actions are, kind of petty, and it's not going to cost you, a hero one of their actions. All right, so then we're going to be moving on. We're going to shoot back to the other format of video, but we're going to be going into the monster phase next. Okay, and there you go. You learned about all of the free actions you can do in the hero phase. And we are at the end of the hero phase video. Yes, this went into multiple parts, but again, I hope that this showed you the variety and everything you can do in Dungeon Crusade, since it's an open world dungeon crawl board game. There's just really nothing linear about it. And even though this was, the longest video, I'm very happy how this came out, because I think you got very, very acclimated to the game with this certain video. And I really had just a great time doing this, especially the combat we did and just everything. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're moving into our final video. Well, second to final. We're gonna go into the monster phase. And again, this is the end of a turn in Dungeon Crusade. And then we're gonna come back and we're just gonna chat lightly about Celebration Day and some kind of like final discussion. Because we have a few exciting announcements coming up, and I want to get to those. So stay tuned for the monster phase. That won't be as long as this was, because we talked about a lot of stuff already. So, but still, I think you'll enjoy the monster phase, and then we'll move into one more video with Celebration Day and a final kind of discussion for now. But this series will be continuing with the workshop videos I have on how to create your own quests. We're going to be releasing the blank quest cards and blank scenario pages, so you guys can share your creativity and imagination and your passion for dungeon crawling. And so there will be other videos in this series, but for now, this will wrap up so we can get to these 2 exciting announcements I think many people are going to be very happy about. Okay, guys, listen, thank you for your time, your interest. Love you guys. I love hanging out and talking Dungeon Crusade and all this with you. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next in the Monster Phase video. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.